Well, we have been seeing the election being stolen. There is no other reason that the vote counters would cover up the windows, and even after a judge orders them to allow observers within 6 feet, to then move those counting boxes back further away where they can't be observed. The only reason you hide what you're doing in voting and counting would be if you're doing something you're ashamed of or you don't want people to find out. Otherwise, it ought to be completely transparent. So clearly they're doing something they don't want people to see, and the only thing that would be is stealing the election. And they know if they can steal it here in Pennsylvania, then they can declare Biden as the winner. And this little experiment in self-government, which is such an anomaly in all of history, it goes away. And there is a successful Marxist revolution with relatively small amount of bloodshed. We don't want a Marxist revolution, and we need to get back to what made us such a blessed country. Well, the only reason Brazil should be afraid of losing your freedom if the U.S. becomes Marxist, as we appear to be heading, is because Brazil really is at risk. Countries around the world are at risk. Australia, UK, Europe. They don't realize it, but if their big brother, the U.S., loses our freedom and become a one-party government, which is where we're headed, if they're able to steal this election with fabricated votes, then the freedom will be lost around the world. The Communist Party of China will be ruling, and we will lose our freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. We've already lost a great deal of our freedom of speech through the high-tech industry. They're now doing the work of China, and why not? They're making billions and billions of dollars from China. And you've got the Biden family that has made so much money from China. Well, they're not going to cut off the money. We won't stand up to China. We'll be making deals with China through the Biden family. The Biden family will make a lot of money, and Uncle Joe will end up making apparently 10 to 50% of everything he throws to his family.
So how do you see the situation of the censorship right now here in America?
The high-tech industry has been all in for the president, and as you know, we've lost a lot of that same freedom here in the United States because of the high-tech industry. So if they're able to help throw this election to Biden, or whoever is behind him that'll be calling the shots, then that's a freedom that's going to be lost all over. Obviously, the high-tech industry has sold their souls to China. So the world is in really deep trouble, and I've been accurately quoted a long time ago as saying, it appears the only thing George Orwell got wrong was the year. It wasn't 1984. Big Brother is now watching, and it's 2020.
What Trump is going to do?
Well, always the place of last resort is, well, for Republicans, is the courts. And if the election is stolen, that's where this has to go, is to the courts. And we will see if the courts have also been corrupted enough to participate in the theft of our freedom. We'll find out.
With this mail-in ballot thing, which is entirely unconstitutional, the mail-in ballots were going to be a way for the Democrats to regularize and make legal what they do illegally in many elections and in places like New York, Boston, Chicago. They hold back the vote, and Florida. They hold back the vote. When we get down to these last 4 or 5% like you see going on, and then somehow they find new ballots. In fact, in Milwaukee, while we were asleep, they found 138,000 new ballots, all for Biden. All for Biden. You think those were cast by real voters? You think they were cast by some Democrat sitting in the back room? This has been their plan all along. It is totally impossible, illogical, irrational that the same thing would happen in all 5 or 6 places where there were close votes. What do I mean by the same thing? I mean the thing that the gentleman in Philadelphia has given us an affidavit on, and we'll get many of them now. The man heading the delegation of Republicans that was supposed to observe the mail-in ballots was kept in a room for 21 hours where he had no ability to see the ballots. Explain that to you. That's been reversed now. We're going to still have to go to the Supreme Court with it because the damage has already been done. The end result of this, we've got similar conduct now, not allowing Republicans to observe the mail-in ballots. We've got it in Philadelphia. We've got it in Milwaukee. We've got it in Detroit. We've got it in Phoenix, Arizona, and we have it in both Las Vegas and Reno, as I told you. And those are all going to be pursued as part of separate and then long-term federal suits. Donald Trump won this election. The Democrats tried everything they could beforehand to stop him, including censorship. They couldn't. Now they've got one last chance, and that is what they're very good at, which is cheating on the vote count. But this time, this is a Republican Party and a president who fights for you because they want to take your vote away. They want the elites to determine our president. And we want the people of the United States to determine our president. And we will fight to make sure that your vote is counted and that your vote is not canceled out by an illegal vote. And we'll do whatever we have to do within the law to do that. That's because we have a president who cares about you. And they have a candidate who says, you don't deserve the right to know. And who announced, probably in a Freudian slip, 2 days before, looking at the people, I'm going to win it without you. Yeah, he's going to win it with the network heads, the big tech heads, and money that he's gotten from all kinds of places, including communist China. We're not going to let that happen.